Here we go. The first Real Kipper and Bourne show of 2025.
Yes, sir.
Nick Kiprios, Justin Bourne, Sammy McKee, Austin Mackey in for Derek Brandale, Jake Schultz, with you for the next 2 hours, including our Leaf Edition hour here live on Sportsnet 590 The Fan, Sportsnet 360, and Sportsnet Plus.
Yes, sir.
Quiet New Year's Eve. I know, Sammy, you blew your brains out in Detroit going to a Red Wings game and a Detroit Lions, so you would have had nothing left for New Year's.
Correct. Nailed it. Yeah, I barely made it to midnight. Fought to make it to midnight on the couch, but made it. I made it. It's my wife's birthday on New Year's Day, so we stay up, and she opened her gifts on New Year's Day at midnight. So it was really great.
That's awesome.
Had a nice steak.
Happy birthday to Allie. Happy New Year to you.
Didn't you do a fake ball drop?
Oh, yeah. We put on YouTube and convinced my kids it was the real one. And, Dad was in bed by, 11, 15.
Any resolutions, boys?
Oh, gosh.
You stopped that
No.
at this point?
I'm just not. Yeah. I was never a guy that said this specific date I'm going to do something differently.
Like everyone else in January 1st, I'd like to stop eating like an a-hole. I'd like to start kind of tighten it up a little. I think mine was corny as hell. It's like appreciating my kids more.
You can't.
Oh, that's nice.
You're still too young. You can still eat what you want. It bothers me.
December was a mess, man.
But you go to Costco and you get the biggest bag of chocolate I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I know. It's bad. I'm not going to sit here and eat broccoli during the show, but got to tighten it up a little bit.
I think this is the year. If I had a resolution, this is the year that I get a golf professional to look at my golf swing.
You'd get a diagnosis so you can work on the cure?
Just a driver. Just have a look, see if we can figure something out and go forward, because it's holding me back. But that would be my only resolution. Get better at golf. What a great resolution.
That's amazing, though. It doesn't have to be self-improvement.
I don't stink. No. But I want to be better.
Well, we'll try to straighten that swing out just on our show alone for the next 6 months, or at least get us to unrestricted free agency.
And I want to say, you'll notice the disparity in dress today. Kip is dressed extremely nice. We are going to be on television tonight.
We are. Toronto Maple Leafs and the New York Islanders, 7:30, Sportsnet Ontario. We went from doing no games at all for the first few months to
just me now, pal.
It's just us now.
Yeah.
Elliot Friedman will be returning from the outdoor game, and David Amber, of course, will hold his usual spot. So looking forward to that.
More Islanders talk. But I did want to note, and the reason I'm not in my suit yet, rocking the U of Albany hoodie from my nephew, CJ Schwartz, is a face-off specialist for them, the Great Danes.
Oh, okay.
Got this over the holidays, repping
Nice.
the D1 lacrosse program there. Shout out to CJ and his boys.
I don't think I need to tell you why I'm wearing this one.
We get it.
I actually feel awful. They were in Oshawa yesterday, and I didn't have anybody to go with. I texted everybody that would want to go. No one would go, and I didn't go. I was going to go by myself.
Why? Why didn't you go by yourself? Are you I can't go by myself person because I look like the biggest loser?
No. I can go by myself. I've gone to games by myself before, but there was some good college football on, and then I get the notifications for the scores to my phone, and we're the worst team in the league. They're actually, the attack are awful.
Without Carter George right now.
I went home for Christmas, and they lost 8-2 in the game I went to, and I was like, oh God, am I going to drive out there? And I was getting the notifications. They're a hard-fought game in the third period with Oshawa, who's an elite team, and I felt like an a-hole for not going.
How about movies? You go to movies by yourself ever?
I will for sure. I mean, I don't have time anymore, but I used to go by myself.
I think in my career, I led the league in most movies by myself.
It's great.
In my career.
What do you need someone else for anyway? You can't talk during the movie anyway.
No, exactly. And if you did,
I'm a chatter. If
during
I
the movies?
Yeah, not
in the bedroom.
No, not I'll ask my wife a lot of clarifying questions. I'm like, who is that guy?
Oh, you're that
I'm
guy.
him. Oh, yeah. She's like, shut up.
All right. Let's get her going here.
All right.
Because
Albany, not Albany, by the way.
Did something change between Christmas and today in terms of how we feel about Austin Matthews, the Toronto Maple Leafs, and the current situation they sit in? Did something change?
Not that something changed in a profound moment, but as it bleeds on, I think you feel differently about things. Do you not?
I do, after listening to Austin Matthews yesterday.
Who said with conviction, this will get it sorted out. I'll be back soon, and we'll be ready to rock and roll.
See, I wish he would have just said, that,
Yeah.
but he didn't.
Yeah. No, it was, if we're going to go there, let's start there. It was.
I don't think there's anywhere else
No.
we can start.
Captain.
So he
the
talked.
Leafs.
He talked for I don't know how long, 2 or 3 minutes to the media, and he answered a lot of questions on his back, and he didn't really give any on his injury. I'm just so us saying that it's his back,
Right.
but I would say that this was the most damning of the clips, so that's why I did it. Classic Toronto media. But if we could play the Austin Matthews clip,
Our first Kippers Clipper of 2025 is a doozy.
yeah.
Do you feel like this is something, Austin, that with the appropriate amount of rest, you will be able to put behind you at some point this season?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I hope so. That's obviously the goal. It's tricky with these things sometimes. It's a physical sport, it's a contact sport, so, things happen out there sometimes that are out of your control. So just try to manage it as best as I can and that we can and just go from there.
First of all, I think when you kind of read it, which I did first on the internet, there's something to be said about his tone or just the vibe that you get from listening to him.
Yeah.
It brings it down a little bit.
Softens it for you.
It softens it.
Okay.
But when you answer the question, yeah, I don't know, when you talk about what you're going to potentially deal with the rest of the season, it shines a whole new light on the situation.
It does. And I think two things are true here. We're often like, I just want honesty from these guys. And that to me is honesty. I don't think they know. I think that's a challenge, is that he genuinely doesn't know how it's going to go. But that doesn't mean that it makes me feel better about it. It certainly raises my level of like, oh, to the point where today I spent time researching exactly LTIR rules and how much they could spend if they, it makes you think big picture about this if it doesn't get better.
I don't know if you,
which is a change.
I don't know if you two guys have open DMs on social media. Probably Kepper, I would imagine not. Borny, I'm not sure about you.
I do.
Okay, but over the last week, I bet you I've got 7 to 8 to 9 DMs of Twitter doctors of people. I think it's his foot because he's got different skates on now, and he used to wear tacks, and now he's wearing Bowers. It's like, it's got to be his wrist, because you're just leaving it for idiots to speculate on what it is here. And this has been my point from the start. The lack of clarity on this, and every day them having to ask Berube and him having to answer the questions, it's hanging over the whole organization. It's all every question is about. The whole scrum yesterday, which we'll play a clip from, was 4 questions about Austin Matthews.
Do you think there'd be less if he said, it's my back and I don't know?
I'm out for a period of time. And then, yeah, I do think it would be better. I think there would be less questions. I mean, when was the last time someone asked about Kelly Yarncroc? When's the last time somebody asked about Anthony Stolars? Like, it's just, if you put out a longer timeline, there's less questions being asked, and it's just hanging over everybody. It is.
Do you want to go to another clip? Or
let's play the Berube clip on it, because I thought it was hilarious. On checking in on Matthews, clip 1, please. Austin.
I do check in with him. When I see him, I don't bother him obviously too much. When you're injured as a player, and they're always asking you, how you feeling? What's going on? It gets annoying. He'll when he's available, he'll let us know.
It gets annoying, AKA you guys are annoying.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're asking me every day about a guy who's not telling me anything.
I love the lightness of Berube.
Yeah, it wasn't as light today. He was in sour mood today, but that was yesterday. It seemed like a Happy New Year kind of thing.
What's on your mind?
A couple things. Number one is that it's abundantly clear that.
Good article today, too, Kipper, by it.
Yeah, I wrote today in the Toronto Star about the whole situation and how, for me, the focus really is the next 2 weeks, right? Because we are getting towards a tournament where he is one of 2 faces of this tournament. With all due respect to all the other superstars in the league, this thing has really been built around Canada and Connor McDavid and the U.S. with Austin Matthews. So that is sneaking up. If we are in a similar situation 2 weeks from now, there's just absolutely no way I think you could see Austin Matthews participating in this thing.
Right. But he's going to play soon.
He can play soon. And this is where I think, like I wrote the article before the quote.
Yeah.
And, I probably would have taken a bit of a different direction on my article if I had that quote earlier. And, I'm for one, and I think Elliot Friedman mentioned this on our last telecast on Friday about the Four Nations, and I was kind of buying into that it's still early and we will see him back. And, there's still time back playing for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Okay.
And to the point where if he can kind of look decent, that, there wouldn't be any really hard reason to keep him away from the Four Nations tournament.
Leafs all in on center hunt. Treliving's bold moves could shape Toronto's future. As a die-hard Toronto Maple Leaf supporter, it's hard not to get excited about the latest trade buzz surrounding the team. Brad Treliving, the Leafs general manager, appears poised to make some daring moves to strengthen the squad's depth down the middle. The whispers of significant trades are growing louder, and Elliot Friedman of Sportsnet has added fuel to the fire with his recent revelations. The situation has become even more pressing as the Leafs grapple with the ongoing upper body injury to team captain Austin Matthews. Matthews has already missed the last 4 games, and while the team is doing its best to stay afloat, the need for reinforcements at center is undeniable. Treliving, it seems, is ready to part with valuable assets to address this glaring need. The centers on Treliving's radar. Names like Jake Evans from the Montreal Canadiens, Brock Nelson from the New York Islanders, and the Philadelphia Flyers' Morgan Frost have been mentioned as potential targets. These players bring a mix of experience and skill, each offering something unique to the Leafs lineup. But, as Friedman highlighted during his appearance on the Fan 590's The Fan Hockey Show, the price tags for these players vary significantly. That's the number one thing he's, Treliving, been looking at all season, Friedman noted, emphasizing the GM's focus on finding the right fit at center. This isn't just about plugging a hole, it's about finding a player who can elevate the team to new heights. Priorities in focus. While some fans might argue that the Leafs need help on defense, Friedman suggested that Treliving's primary focus is elsewhere. They did a lot of their work in the off-season. I think now there's a question if they need to go find someone to play with Morgan Rielly, he explained. But, it's not their number one priority. I believe their number one thing all season has been, let's find another center. This clear focus on center depth speaks volumes about Treliving's strategy. The Leafs are willing to pay a hefty price, but there's a caveat: the player must come with term. Why term matters? The preference for term isn't just a strategic move, it's a sign that Treliving is thinking long-term. Rentals can be tempting, especially for a team looking to make a deep playoff run, but they often come with risks. One of the things I've heard is that if they're going to spend assets on a center, they would prefer it to be someone with term, Friedman revealed. This approach ensures that any trade made benefits the Leafs beyond the immediate future. Internal struggles and potential fits. Internally, the Leafs have tried to find solutions. Fraser Minton showed promise earlier this season, but the organization prefers to let him develop further with the Marlies. Meanwhile, the Leafs' current lineup has struggled to maintain its depth in Matthews' absence. One intriguing option could be Vincent Trocheck from the New York Rangers. With the Rangers facing their own challenges, could they be persuaded to part with a player like Trocheck, who already has chemistry with Leaf stars from last year's All-Star game? The road ahead. As the calendar flips to 2025, the trade deadline looms larger. Treliving's actions in the coming months will undoubtedly shape the Leafs' playoff aspirations and potentially their long-term future. For Leafs fans, the anticipation is palpable. Every move, every rumor, and every game feels like a piece of the puzzle. Treliving's willingness to swing for the fences shows a commitment to bringing a championship to Toronto, a dream that has eluded the franchise for far too long. Why this matters? This isn't just another season. This is a chance for the Leafs to solidify their identity as a contender. With Matthews expected to return and the possibility of a major trade to bolster the lineup, the team is poised to make a statement. Treliving's boldness, combined with the team's potential, makes it an exhilarating time to be a Leafs fan. Whether it's Evans, Nelson, Frost, or another unexpected addition, one thing is clear: the Leafs are in it to win it. So, buckle up, Leafs Nation. The journey ahead promises to be as thrilling as it is unpredictable. Treliving's moves could define the legacy of this team, and, hopefully, end the championship drought that has haunted Toronto for decades. The weight of expectations. The Leafs are no strangers to the pressure of the spotlight. Toronto is a hockey city, and the Maple Leafs are its beating heart. Every move made by management is scrutinized, every decision debated endlessly by fans and analysts alike. Treliving stepped into a challenging role when he took over as GM, and his willingness to take bold steps shows he understands the weight of these expectations. What makes this moment particularly critical is the team's current window of contention. With stars like Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner, and William Nylander in their prime, the Leafs are in win-now mode. The front office knows that wasting even a single season could have long-term repercussions. Austin Matthews, the catalyst. Matthews' injury has highlighted just how crucial he is to the team's success. While his absence has been manageable in short bursts, it's clear that the Leafs' center depth isn't built to withstand prolonged stretches without their captain. This has amplified the urgency to bring in another center who can contribute immediately and lessen the load on Matthews when he returns. The captain's recovery timeline is still uncertain, but Treliving's proactive approach suggests the team isn't willing to gamble on waiting too long. The goal is clear: solidify the lineup so that when Matthews is back, the Leafs are firing on all cylinders. The cost of boldness. The term significant assets isn't used lightly. Whether it's high draft picks, promising prospects, or even current roster players, Treliving is signaling that no stone will be left unturned. The Leafs' prospect pool is respectable but not overflowing, meaning any trade will have to be meticulously calculated. There's also the financial aspect. The Leafs are a team that operates near the salary cap, so any addition will require shrewd cap management. Could Treliving pull off a move that strengthens the roster without hamstringing the team's flexibility? If he does, it would be nothing short of a masterstroke. The fan base's role. Leafs Nation, passionate as ever, has already begun dissecting potential trade scenarios. Social media is abuzz with debates about who should be targeted and what assets should be sacrificed. Fans understand the stakes, and there's a growing sense of anticipation, bordering on impatience, for Treliving to make his move. It's a delicate balance for the GM. While fans demand immediate results, he must ensure that any deal aligns with a long-term vision of sustained success. The pressure to deliver is immense, but so is the potential reward. Comparisons to past GMs. Treliving's approach invites comparisons to his predecessors. Some GMs were criticized for being too conservative, while others were seen as overly aggressive. Treliving, however, seems to have struck a balance. He's willing to take risks, but only if they make sense for the team's broader goals. This calculated boldness is exactly what the Leafs need in this pivotal moment. If Treliving can pull off a game-changing trade, he could cement his place as one of the most effective GMs in recent Leafs history. The trade deadline looms. The NHL trade deadline is one of the most exciting times of the year, and this season promises to be no exception. With the Leafs actively shopping for a center, every rumor and report will be magnified. Other teams are watching closely, too, as any move by Toronto could shift the balance of power in the league. It's not just about who the Leafs acquire, it's about what message the move sends. A major trade would signal to the league, and to their own players, that Toronto is all in. That kind of confidence can be infectious, sparking a surge of momentum heading into the playoffs. Lessons from the past. Leafs fans have seen their fair share of trade deadline moves over the years, some more successful than others. From acquiring veterans to bolster playoff runs to making unexpected gambles, the franchise's history offers lessons for Treliving. The key will be avoiding the pitfalls of overpaying for short-term fixes while maximizing the impact of any new additions. The future of Fraser Minten. One of the most intriguing subplots is the development of Fraser Minten. The young center has shown flashes of brilliance but remains a work in progress.